The lights inside the
What an
Britain's Got
incredible
Talent
performance.
theater
The
glow
emotion
softly
in that
as the
piece
audience
was just
settles into their
stunning.
seats. There is a quiet buzz in the air, the kind that always exists just before something unexpected happens. This is the moment where dreams begin, where ordinary people walk onto an extraordinary stage, hoping for one chance to change their lives forever. If you love stories where talent shocks the world and judges are left speechless, you are in the right place. Sit back, relax, and let this moment unfold. From the judge's desk, Simon Cowell leans back in his chair, arms crossed, expression unreadable. He has seen it all. Singers, dancers, magicians, comedians, and performers who claimed they were different. Some impressed him, many did not. Over the years, Simon Cowell has built a reputation as the toughest judge in the room. He does not clap easily. He does not pretend. If he likes something, you will know. If he does not, you will definitely know. Simon Cowell's journey to this chair was not simple. Long before he became one of the most powerful figures in the music and television industry, he struggled. He failed exams, jumped from job to job, and even worked in the mailroom of a record company. Those early failures shaped him. They taught him to trust his instincts and to value originality above everything else. That is why his opinion on this stage matters so much. A nod from Simon can change a life. A smile from him can launch a career. Back on stage, the host announces the next act. A man walks out, alone, carrying an unusual instrument case. He looks calm, almost too calm. His clothes are simple, his posture relaxed. There is nothing flashy about him. No dramatic entrance. No big smile. Just quiet confidence. The audience claps politely, unsure of what to expect. Simon raises an eyebrow. He leans toward the microphone and asks the question he has asked thousands of times before. "What are you going to do for us today?" The man smiles slightly and answers that he is going to play music. There is a pause. Simon tilts his head. Just play music. No big explanation. No emotional backstory. No dramatic build-up. Simon smirks. It almost sounds like a joke. Another judge asks what kind of music. The contestant shrugs gently and says it is something different. The audience chuckles. Simon glances sideways, sharing a look that says he is not convinced. He has heard this before. Something different often means something strange. The man places his instrument down and opens the case. What comes out makes the judges lean forward. It is not a typical guitar or piano. It is something rarely seen on this stage. The audience murmurs. Simon's expression shifts from boredom to curiosity. Still, there is doubt in his eyes. Simon Cowell has a sharp sense for talent, but he also has very high standards. He believes talent is not just about skill. It is about presence, control, and the ability to connect with millions of people at once. Many performers can play an instrument. Very few can own a stage. The contestant takes a deep breath. The theater grows quiet. You can hear someone cough in the distance. Then, the first note is played. At first, it sounds simple. Almost playful. Simon presses his lips together, unimpressed. His fingers tap lightly on the desk. The audience listens politely, unsure where this is going. Then something changes. The rhythm builds. The melody deepens. The sound fills the theater in a way no one expected. The man's fingers move with precision and passion. His entire body becomes part of the performance. This is not just playing music. This is storytelling through sound. Simon stops tapping his fingers. His eyes narrow, not in doubt, but in focus. He leans forward now, elbows on the desk. He is listening. Really listening. The audience begins to react. Heads nod. People exchange looks of surprise. This is not a joke. This is not a novelty act. This is real talent unfolding in real time. The music grows stronger, Faster, more intense. The contestant pushes the instrument beyond what anyone thought possible. Notes blend into emotions. Soft moments pull at the heart, then powerful bursts send chills through the room. One of the judges opens their mouth slightly, stunned. Another judge smiles, completely caught in the moment. Simon Cowell's expression transforms. The skepticism fades. In its place appears something rare. Respect. Simon has always said that when something is good, he feels it instantly. He does not need a story. He does not need drama. The sound alone tells him everything. Right now, the sound is speaking loudly. The contestant closes his eyes, fully immersed. The stage lights reflect off the instrument as the final section builds toward a climax. The audience holds its breath. Then, with one final, perfectly timed note, the music stops. Silence. For half a second, the theater is frozen. Then the room explodes. The audience jumps to their feet, cheering, clapping, shouting. The applause is thunderous. It is the kind of reaction every performer dreams of but few ever experience. Simon Cowell stands up. This moment alone tells the entire story. Simon does not stand up for just anyone. When he does, it means something extraordinary has happened. He begins clapping slowly, deliberately, with a small smile on his face. The other judges follow, standing, applauding with genuine excitement. The contestant looks overwhelmed. He did not expect this. His shoulders shake slightly as he bows his head, taking in the moment. When the applause finally settles, Simon leans toward the microphone. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. When Simon Cowell speaks after a performance like this, people listen. He admits that at first, he thought the act might be a joke. He says he has seen many unusual instruments and many strange ideas. But then he adds something powerful. He says that within seconds, he realized he was wrong. Simon explains that what matters most to him is originality paired with skill. Not just being different for the sake of it, but being brilliant while being different. He tells the contestant that this performance was exactly that. He says the performance was confident, surprising, and completely captivating. He compliments the control, the emotion, and the courage to walk onto a stage like this and let the music speak for itself. The audience cheers again. Another judge adds that the performance felt fresh, something they had never seen or heard before on this stage. They say it reminded them why shows like this exist, to discover talent that does not fit into a box. The contestant thanks the judges, his voice trembling slightly. He explains briefly that he has been playing for many years, often performing on the streets, in small rooms, for people who barely stopped to listen. He says this stage is a dream. Simon listens carefully. He nods. He understands that journey. He knows what it feels like to be overlooked, to be doubted, to be underestimated. That is why moments like this matter to him. Simon Cowell built his career by recognizing talent that others ignored. He helped launch some of the biggest artists in the world by trusting his instincts when no one else did. That instinct is what makes his approval so meaningful. Simon gives the final verdict. It is a clear yes. The other judges follow, all saying yes without hesitation. 4 yeses. The contestant's face lights up. He covers his mouth, overwhelmed with emotion. The audience cheers once more as he leaves the stage, knowing his life may never be the same again. As he walks off, Simon watches him go with a thoughtful expression. He knows that this performance will be remembered. Not because it was flashy. Not because it was loud. But because it was honest and unexpected. This is what makes Britain's Got Talent special. Not just the talent, but the moments where expectations are shattered. Where doubt turns into belief. Where even the toughest judge in the room is surprised. Simon Cowell often says that the best auditions are the ones that start quietly and end explosively. This was one of those moments. A reminder that true talent does not need to shout. It simply needs to be heard. As the show moves on to the next act, the energy in the theater remains high. People are still talking about what they just witnessed. That performance will be replayed, shared, and remembered by millions around the world. And somewhere backstage, a performer who was once doubted is now one step closer to changing his life forever. If this moment taught us anything, it is this. Never judge too quickly. Never assume you have seen it all. And never underestimate the power of pure talent. Because sometimes, what looks like a joke at first can turn into something unforgettable the moment the music begins. The contestant disappears behind the curtain, but the feeling he left behind stays in the room. The judges settle back into their chairs, yet there is still a spark in the air, the kind that only appears after a truly special audition. The audience continues to whisper, replaying the performance in their minds, trying to understand how something so unexpected could feel so powerful. Simon Cowell exhales slowly. Moments like this remind him why he still sits behind that desk after so many years. Fame, money, and success never excited him as much as discovery. Finding someone who can genuinely surprise him is rare, and when it happens, it matters. Simon looks down the table at the other judges and nods slightly. He admits that he loves being proved wrong. He says that when someone walks on stage and breaks his expectations, that is the best feeling in the world. It means the show is still doing what it was meant to do. Behind the scenes, the contestant leans against the wall, hands shaking. The noise of the crowd still echoes in his ears. For years, people laughed when they saw his instrument. Some walked past him without listening. Some said it would never work. But tonight, on the biggest stage of his life, the sound finally reached the right ears. A producer congratulates him and tells him the judges were blown away. He nods, still struggling to process it all. For him, this was never about fame. It was about proving that music has no limits, that passion can turn even the strangest idea into something beautiful. Back at the judge's desk, Simon reflects on his own past. He remembers being the person no one believed in. Teachers told him he would fail. Employers fired him. Even when he started working in music, people doubted his opinions. But Simon trusted himself. He trusted his ears. That trust built an empire. That is why he respects performers who take risks. Safe acts are forgettable. Risky acts are remembered. The host announces a short break, and the cameras capture Simon still smiling faintly. He knows that millions watching at home felt the same shock he did. That shared moment is what makes television powerful. When the show returns, clips of the audition replay on the big screen. The audience cheers again as the final note echoes through the theater speakers. Simon watches carefully, analyzing it once more. He notices details he missed the first time. The control, the timing, the confidence. It was not luck. It was mastery. Simon comments that true talent reveals itself layer by layer. The first impression grabs attention, but depth keeps it alive. He believes this performer has depth. The contestant later returns for interviews, still humble, still soft-spoken. He thanks the judges again, especially Simon. He says that hearing approval from someone known for honesty means everything. Simon responds simply, saying the truth is always easier when the talent deserves it. As the episode continues, other acts perform, but the comparison is inevitable. The audience measures each one against that moment of surprise. Some are good, some are entertaining, but that audition set a standard. By the end of the night, fans online begin sharing clips. Comments flood in. People say they expected nothing and got everything. They say Simon's reaction said it all. They say this is why they watch. Simon Cowell leaves the theater later that night thinking about the future. He knows the competition is just beginning. There will be pressure, expectations, and nerves. But he also knows that performers who surprise him once often do it again. This audition was not just about advancing to the next round. It was about being seen, being heard, and being taken seriously. It was about turning doubt into belief. And somewhere, a performer who was once dismissed as a joke is now preparing for the next stage, carrying the memory of that applause, the sound of Simon Cowell standing to his feet, and the knowledge that sometimes, one performance is enough to change everything. Because on Britain's Got Talent, the impossible does not just happen. It announces itself with a single note, and even the toughest judge in the room listens.